my website right now.
I'm waiting to get the notification. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We have an incredible guest, a beauty influencer and a business owner, none other than Kayla Muhammad. First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, my brother.
We are very excited and humbled that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come give us some information as
Of
well as some
course.
inspiration.
Of course.
Okay, so the first thing that we got to get
I
started
thank you
with,
for having me.
no problem, no problem. For those who don't know, before she was into beauty, fashion, and all of this, she was also an actress in one of my plays, and I have fond memories of her family and our family coming up together. So, how did you go from last time I saw you in Atlanta to now just being a beauty influencer? How did that all come about?
Well, when I was doing that with you, Josh, when I was involved in that, I had been in other plays also.
I don't
I
know.
went to a performing arts school called Carver School of the Art
Okay.
in Atlanta, Georgia. So it was I was happy to be a part of your production. I had already did a play. I had already did a play, Little Shop of Horrors,
Okay. Okay.
and then another play I was in. I was a visual artist
Mm,
major at my school,
mm.
so I did visual art, painting, drawing, photography, sculpture. Um, and I did a Sweeney Todd, but
Mm.
I did the setup for Sweeney Todd, which means I painted, which means I set up the stage, I set up the scenes for Sweeney Todd. So those were the two plays I was in before I was in your play. Well, I actually acted in your play, but I acted in a Little Shop of Horrors too.
Okay.
Um, so being in that environment and being in that school really molded me and shaped me and really um gave me a extraordinary outlet to be able to express myself and really dive into my creativity, you know?
Mm, mm.
So I was all for it. By the time I got in your play, I was good to go. I know you remember I know you remember when I forgot my line.
Yes, I'm
Y'all was
familiar.
all looking at me like I was so scared. I was just looking at everybody in the crowd. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so it started from that. I always been drawing as a kid. I remember drawing 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. It was just an outlet for me. It was a creative outlet. Something that I did in my spare time, something that I like to do. And nobody in my family drew. Nobody in my family was an artist, but it's something I could do. Um, and I loved it. And when my mom really saw that, and she really recognized that, she enrolled me into this performing arts school. And I'm so mad at her at the moment because I asked her, I begged her. I moved around with my family like I was an army kid, like I was an army
Mm,
brat. I was just so tired of moving around with them. You know, by the time we got to Atlanta, like Atlanta is really my second home. I spent 7 years of my life in Atlanta. That's how well, yep, our families were close in Chicago, but
mm.
then you guys relocated to Atlanta before us. But shortly after we came, after you guys, when Minister Sharif became the minister of Mosque number 15, you know. So then we just reconnected there. Um, but man, that's really it. That's how it all started, and it kind of just connects to the makeup and the fashion because it's all the creative world. You know what I'm saying? It's all you have to have a vision. You have to have an idea. You have to have something in your mind that you are trying to bring into fruition. you know. So it just kind of worked. I just kind of really fell into it. I remember I met my best friend to show me when I was in ninth grade, when I started school at the performing arts school. She was a musical theater major. She did plays, she acted, but she was a dance minor. And so I didn't do that. I was majoring in visual arts, and then I played the harp. The harp
Okay,
was my
okay.
minor. So, but we were best friends. So any extracurricular things, she was like, "Can I do this play with me?" Audition for this play with me. Audition for the dance team. And she really encouraged me, and she really pushed me. And I was 15. I was born on 16. I wasn't wearing makeup. My father wasn't. You know, but I was I was really a pure child. I was really a child, so I didn't even have too much interest in makeup or trying to do that. But she started showing me, and I seen her every day. But I see her for plays. So she never really wore makeup to school every day. But she would dress up for plays all the time. She would be doing castings all the time. Let me turn this off. She would be doing all kind of things, and I would just see her, and I would just be like, wow. And then her and her mom used to encourage me all the time. Like, Kelly, you're so beautiful. You should do this. You should do that. You should put this eyeliner on. You should do this. And I was just like their little model. You know what I mean? They just used to make me up all the time whenever they had the chance. And after that, it came easy to me because being a painter and being able to draw, my hand is very precise. So with makeup, you do the eyeliner, you have to be very precise. The way you apply the makeup, you have to be very precise. You have to blend colors. You have to make sure the lines are seamless. You can't see lines of demarcation. You can't see where something starts and something begins. And I just became an avid YouTube watcher. And YouTube is phenomenal. People come on there all different parts of the world, really teaching you and showing you how to do the things that they do, you know. And I just watched for years, since I was like 16, 17 until now. I'm 28 years old, you know. And when I started really getting into it on my own and doing my own makeup, I would get compliments everywhere, Josh. People
Mm.
ask me, "Can you do my makeup? Can you do my eyebrows? You did that? You did that?" And I just started thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody is asking me about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't I take this serious? And honestly, the pandemic really gave us all a chance to reset and sit down in silence and think about it. Ain't no job security. It ain't no job security unless you securing the bag yourself. Period. This government can shut down. This world can shut down. And what you gonna do? Like the minister teaches us. What you gonna do? You gonna do for self, or you gonna sit around and wait for a handout that's not coming to you because the economy is already falling. They giving stimulus checks to reboost the economy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So I just really thought about it, and I watched this. I remember I was watching on YouTube. Steve Harvey was talking, and he was saying the thing that you do with the least amount of effort, that you do the best, that's your meal ticket. You can do something at your very best with the least amount of effort. That's what you should be doing. And so I just really made up my mind. I looked at my children. I was pregnant with my third child, Yasha. And I really had to. I was going through the study guide, self evaluation, self analysis. You know, And I really took some time. I really went on like a spiritual sabbatical, you know, and I just said, God, just direct, you know, just direct me, just show me, just light the way for me, light the path for me. I'm the type of person where I'm very in tune with my creator. I'm very, very, very spiritually enlightened. And God knows, I tell him, I talk to him just like this. I say, God, if you don't make a feeling in my body, if you don't make me get up, if you don't jolt me, I'm not gonna move because I'm not gonna believe it's you. I'm only gonna believe it's you if I feel it, if I can feel you surrounding me, talking to me, then I'm gonna make a move. And he was just like, well, go ahead. Well, go ahead. You've been preparing for this. A lot of times we get prepared for things and we don't know what we're being prepared for. We get prepared for things and Allah starts setting the stage for us.
Yes, ma'am.
You probably didn't know that you was gonna do them plays, that you was gonna be in them plays, and people came out, Josh. The believers came out for you, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I came out for you, Josh.
Yes,
We was in that, where was it, the YMCA?
yeah, yeah,
We,
yeah,
we,
yeah.
we, we was in there every other day, practicing hours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? Allah begins to set a stage for you, and He expects for you to show up. You know, so that's just what I'm doing. It's a very nerve-wracking thing. Your mind can start racing. It's gonna work. It's not gonna work. Profit off this. I'm not gonna profit off this. Do I have time for this? Do I have time for this? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But it's a thing in the hood where they say jump off the porch. You know,
Yes, ma'am.
it's that time where you got to make up your mind, like, I'm going to jump off the porch now. I'm going to walk this road now, and I'm going to see what it's going to bring me now. So we here.
Beautiful. Praise him. So many people, Sister Mariah Shapa says that's right. And my sister Mimi says ASA family, and Sister Mariah salute you. Can't wait to put this on
family.
YouTube. How can people how can we support you in your business? Where can we find you? On social, like online, or where do we go?
Well, my social media, my Instagram, I'm on Instagram, and I just created a Facebook.
Okay.
And they're both styled and gray. I think you can find me on Facebook by my name, Kayla Muhammad. But then it'll show you then in my bio and everything that I'm the CEO of Styled and Gray. Yeah, the first product that we're launching is I'm selling makeup brushes. So on my page, you'll see I have the display of the whole kit. It comes with 10 professional makeup brushes that are specially made that has an indentation in the brush. I'm sorry, brother, I don't have one right now. But they have an indentation in the brush where you put your thumb, where it holds, it kind of gives you a tight grip. So as you're applying it, it's a more precise application with this brush. They're very chic, they're rose gold, um, they're high quality, you know. Um, and that's the first product that I'm selling, along with people being able to book me to do their makeup.
Okay, great. And once again, styled and grace.
Styled and gray. Yep.
Okay. Wonderful. And for those women, do you have anything if they're not in Chicago and they want to go out special with their husband or their man or whatever, and they want to get done up, how they just go to your website and you want to talk to them?
Well, I'm also launching a YouTube.
Okay.
I'm also launching a YouTube where I'll do tutorials. So the first video I'm actually learning, I'm in film school right now. So I'm learning Adobe, Premiere, audio, Audition, so where I'm learning to edit my videos and be able to put my work out there on the YouTube platform as well.
That's incredible. I'm glad you're still doing in the creative world, working with film. How was becoming a mother? How did that impact you?
I feel like I've been a mom. I'm the oldest of 6.
Mm,
You know, I've been a mom. I've always had this motherly instinct toward my siblings.
mm,
So
mm.
being a mom was just second nature. Hold on one second, brother. Let me get my. Hold on.
Okay, and I want to thank everyone who's continuing to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. We have some incredible guests coming up tonight as well. If you all, everybody stays tuned. We have one at 6 p.m. Eastern who's coming on, an amazing brother with an incredible story. This week, we have a lot of amazing guests, ranging from the youth all the way to the elders. And if you have any guest suggestions, for anybody who's watching, and you have a guest suggestion, please let us know, and we will make sure that we look into that. If you would like to bring a guest on, let us know. Okay, Kayla's back.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
back. I'm back
Okay,
with Yasha.
okay, this is your youngest. Son.
Yes, this is the newest, the latest and greatest inspiration.
Hey. How do your parents enjoy being grandparents?
Oh, my parents, they know grandparents. My parents are not no grandparents. They are. They are. They just I think they're adjusting. You know,
Okay.
of course they love them. Of course they have a bond with them. They have a relationship with them. But you know how your older grandparents will always go over their house. They always want you. They always doing stuff with you. My parents too young.
Okay.
I give my parents 5 years maybe.
And what prompted you to name him? Give him his name. Where did the name come from?
Oh man! Remember I told you I was on the spiritual sabbatical
Yes, ma'am.
with him, right? His name is Yasha. I was watching. I watched all the time in What Must Be Done by Minister Louis Farrakhan when I was pregnant. I watched it all the way to episode 53.
Mm.
Um, and the minister was talking about Jesus. You know, Jesus' real name was Yahshua.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he was saying that, it was sticking to me. And I just loved the way that it sounded, you know. But then I said, that's Jesus' name, though. I said, I'm not going to name my son after Jesus because it's only one Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Well, it's a couple Jesus. Remember the minister at that lecture?
Yes, ma'am.
But I said, I'm not going to, those people are already here. Those
Yes, ma'am.
people already have a role to play. Those people, Allah has already brought those people into life with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan being the last one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
You know? So I said, I got to do a variation. So I'm really into that. You know? My middle child's name is Makari, which means
Okay.
blessed.
Mm.
Makari Malachi Zion Smith.
Okay.
And in Yasha's name, I started looking for variation, and I found Yasha, which is Yashar. And I never knew anybody named Yasha. I never even heard the name before. And Yasha means upright,
Mm.
one who lives a long life.
Mm.
That's what Yasha means. I said, yeah, that's it. I said, oh yeah. And then his middle name is Aeon. And Aeon means soaked in divinity.
Mm.
It means one that's soaked in the spirit of God. You're not even gonna find no brown germ in this one. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's what Master Rod came to do. He came to make us perfect, like he is perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. So I know my conception. And you and I in a lot of the youth being what we call nation babies, we're different. We were born into the reality of God. We were never Christians. We were never Jews, Hindus. We were never confused about the reality of God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So our offspring, imagine our offspring.
That's right.
You understand? So there you have it. And then he has two middle names. It's Aeon Ali. And then Ali means champion. And that's my brother's middle name too. And me and my brother, like this. When I went to Atlanta, when I was pregnant with Yasha, my brother followed me. And me and my brother, me and Taj, this. And I admire Taj, and I love Taj, and he's a genius.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a genius, and it's so hard being in this world because he's so unalike. I know he feels like an alien. Sometimes we feel like aliens.
Absolutely.
Like Martians, like we just don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? What do they say? Cardi beat me up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's how we feel. That's how we feel, And it's a hell of a thing to know what we know and be groomed how we groomed and to be who we are in the midst of this.
Yes, ma'am.
So I name my children the way I name my children because if I'm never around, if I'm never here, I want them to be able to go within themselves and know who they are. I want them to be able to say their names, understand the meaning of their name, and live up to their names. What other sign? What better sign can you have? Your mother named you. Your mother named you. So if you can go back to your root, if you can self-analyze and go back inside yourself and say, well, this is my name. This is what I should be living up to. This is the root of me. So yes, I named them purposely, intentionally. So that if I'm ever not around, anybody is not around, they can look at their name and be themselves. Absolutely.
Wonderful. My sister Mimi says that she's looking forward to your YouTube channels and your son is so cute. My sister Naima says ASA family. Okay, wait, salam
Naima. Salam alaikum, Mimi. Okay. Salam alaikum, Naima.
Okay, so okay, so I have one last question for you. What advice would you give to any of the people who are going into business, new business owners, new influencers, people, new entrepreneurs? What advice would you give them starting out?
Number one, I would tell them to prepare. The minister always tells us to be prepared. Sometimes he drops seeds on us all the time to plant them for them to be able to grow. But even the seed, it goes through stages until you see the flower. You understand?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you have to prepare yourself for what it is. You know, I told you I've been watching YouTube for years before this was even thought of. I've been studying this for years, just as an interest, just as a hobby. And then when I decided last year to take it serious, then I started thinking about steps I need. Okay, I need this. I need my website. I need my logo. I need to brand myself. I need to, it's different things that you begin to do when you're dedicated, when you're disciplined and dedicated to it. You start behaving as such, So the first thing I would say is to be prepared for what it is you want to know. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. And then I would say it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And you can't wait for perfection. You perfect in the process. But perfection doesn't come first. I just seen a video of Jay-Z saying, everybody look at the end product. Everybody look at the end result and chase after that and go after that. They didn't see Kobe in the gym years, practicing, blood, sweat, tears. You need to focus on that part. I would encourage everybody to, like I did, go find somebody who inspires you, who encourages you. When you look at their end result and you see, oh my God, I want to be like them. Find out their story. Find out how they started, what they did, how they maneuvered, what trials they had, what issues they had, what hardships they had, what triumphs they had to get to where they are today. You have to study. You have to study. And sometimes when we study, we find out, that ain't for me. So you don't waste no time, no energy when you study. And then you find out, man, this is my thing. This is it. And you go hard. And you put yourself out there. And you start talking to people. You start networking with people. And you start attracting to yourself like a magnetic force what it is that you're trying to manifest.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I would encourage people to do. 100%.
Excellent. And I want to thank everyone for watching. And one more time, so we can make sure we put this on
thank
YouTube.
You.
Where can we find the name of your company, and where can we find you?
Okay, we are on Instagram at Style in Grace Co _ That's my Instagram name. I'll put it up here. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can find me on Facebook at Kayla Muhammad. So the link to my website is in my bio. You guys can go check it out. Read my mission statement, read my bio, get to know me a little better, see my product, see a little bit of my portfolio of some work I have done, and book me.
Yes, ma'am. We're excited, and we hope that everybody goes and supports you. And once again, get a greeting to your family. And I look forward to watching your children grow. And let us know when you graduate from film school. We got to do some work together.
Yes, definitely. Man, Josh, it's going down, brother. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You hear me? Man, I'm learning everything. I'm all in. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm like a sponge soaking up everything. You hear me? I'm already in a movie at school. I'm already in a movie. I'm already producing. I haven't been in school for 2 months. But when you take that initiative and you show people, no, I'm not playing no games. I know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. People take you serious. And people want to see. People become interested. People become intrigued. You know?
Yes, ma'am.
So all praises just to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And thank everyone for watching. This is Joshua
Yes,
Muhammad
thank you,
signing off.
everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.